Greetings, YouTube. Mike Haley 7 here. February 1st, 2019. I guess I could put my sun visor down. It wouldn't be too dark. Doesn't make much of a difference anyway. With the noise and the helmet. That's the only complaint I have. It's a little bit noisier in this awry helmet, but everything else is awesome. So, 26 degrees. I'm riding and feeling fine. There was somebody, I can't remember who it was, asked me about these gloves. They want to get them. They see me riding with them in this cold and they say, oh, let's get these gloves. I will caution you in saying that you got to remember that my ride is about 10 minutes long. If I were riding for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, I probably wouldn't want to wear these gloves without a liner. I don't know though. I haven't really tried. Because, you know, the wind hits the back of my hand, and the back of my hand is a bit nippy, but not really. By the time I get to school, this finger is a bit numb. And that's about it. My other hand, I don't get cold at all. I got the heating grips are on a 3 right now. So, everything's good. Anyway, I hope you like the gloves if you get them. The Fox Creek leather gloves. I think they're deer skin, and they have a gauntlet. Gotta be careful up here because there are children. Here we go. So as I ride to work this morning, let's see if I can think of a topic. I saw that Dan the fireman, he did a video on 5 things that you need to know if you're going to ride in the cold. So maybe I'll do something about that. I could talk about that, I guess. Some things you need to know about riding in the cold. Alright, number 1, you want to have layers, but not too many. And be smart about the layers. If you have really thick things on, heavy things, then you're not going to enjoy yourself. Your mobility will be limited, and you won't feel as safe because you can't really control the bike if you're all, you know, stuffed like a tick ready to pop. So if you're going to go out on a bike in this kind of weather, I would say make sure you have on long johns or Under Armour, something, a thin layer that's wind resistant or windproof. Have on an underlayer for your jacket, but make sure whatever you choose is flexible and not too heavy. Originally, when I had these pants on, I was wearing them with pants underneath, and it was just too much. I couldn't hardly move. So now I just have on the pants, you know. I wear them like regular pants. If I were going to be out longer, I would probably put on long johns and then put these on. But since it's only 10 minutes, I don't have anything on underneath things except regular old underwears. Wool socks are great. You gotta have nice wool socks. And for your hands, make sure you have something that's going to block the wind. If you can, get heated gear. Don't be afraid to get heated gear. I haven't gotten it yet, but I will eventually. My complaint about heated gear is the wiring. I just don't want to have a bunch of wires sticking out of me. So I'll have to look into that. But heated gear would definitely make a huge difference. And the other thing is, pay attention to your body when you're riding, especially long distances in cold weather. Don't get hypothermic. That's not a good thing. It happened to me once on a ride from the Outer Banks of North Carolina back home in 2008, I think it was. I rode out there on St. Patrick's Day, and it was 80 or 90 degrees that day. It was crazy. So I rode out to the Outer Banks, and I went up to Virginia Beach to see my aunt. And then it promptly snowed. So I stayed overnight at my aunt's unexpectedly. And then I took off the next day to go back home. And I rode in, 27, 28 degree weather all the way back with just my summer gear on. I had my leather jacket with very thin liner, and I was freezing. So I would ride until I would shake so much I could barely control the bike. I'd pull over, find a restaurant, get a cup of coffee, put my hands around it, and just kind of heat up. Once I got hot enough, I'd get back on the bike, do the same thing. I probably had to stop about 6 times because it's I think it's probably about 130 miles from the Outer Banks to my house. Boy, that was a rough trip. I remember it fondly, but it wasn't fun to go through at the time. So make sure that you're prepared. See, I wasn't prepared. I could have put other things in my saddlebags in case the weather changed, but I just didn't anticipate it. Always try to have extra stuff. Of course, it's hard if you have a bike that doesn't have all kinds of storage. But you really try to prepare for that kind of thing. If you have a helmet, a full-faced helmet, you want to make sure you have a pin lock on your visor there so that you can avoid too much fogging. I have a fogging issue right now, even with the pin lock. There are certain temperatures that are low enough so that pin locks don't even work. But most of the time, I would say between 25 and 32, you're fine. Below 25, I think it starts to get dicey. If you don't wear a full face helmet, you wear a half helmet, make sure you have a good balaclava. And to protect your eyes, I would recommend snowmobile goggles. I got some from 509 and I love them. I used to wear them when I did my half helmet moto vlogs. So I recommend those highly. You might look kind of goofy going down the road, but hey, you know what? Your eyes are protected. There's no fogging issues, because if you wear regular sunglasses, even with the foam padding around to go around your eye, the fogging is terrible. Just the heat from your body will fog them up. So definitely make sure you get your fogging controlled. I can't really say anything in terms of wind protection because I have tons of it, and I love that. It keeps me nice and toasty by comparison. If you have a bike that doesn't have any wind protection, you're gonna have to definitely dress with wind protective stuff, because you're gonna get frozen if you don't. On my Road King, I didn't have wind protection. I oftentimes didn't even have my windshield on, but those days are over. So heated gear, layers, control your fogging, and make sure you have wind protection. So I guess that's 4 things you really need to know if you're going to ride in the cold. This is Mike Haley 7 saying, I'll talk to you later.